Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, New Cloud Edge Technology Available at Africa Data Centers. We are delighted to have some fantastic speakers today from Global Sense, Africa Data Centers, and Zadara to share their insights with you. I'm Lali Hartman, Marketing Manager at Zadara. On the agenda, we have Jody Martin, Cloud Product Manager at Africa Data Centers, to talk about the future of data centers and digitalization in Africa. Gerrit Visser, Managing Director at Global Sense, to introduce Zadara services available in South Africa, followed by Tal Rotem, Regional Director at Zadara, to discuss enterprise-grade solutions, and a platform demo by Aaron Sadeh, Director Solution Architect at Zadara. We will wrap up with a Q&A session. So if you have any question you'd like to ask, please put it in the chat and we will share them at the end. Enjoy the session.
So good morning, everyone, and thanks, Lali. I'm assuming that's my cue to start. Thank you, Zadara, for organizing the event and Global Sense. And today I'll be talking about two extremely hot topics at the moment, and two that I'm very biased towards: Africa's digital transformation and data centers. And both since the pandemic has been heightened interest. As investors and economists have all had a close eye on Africa and what's happening in Africa. So there's a report that was published last year by Google and the IFC, just about the growth in Africa and what has been taking place over the last couple of years, and a bit of insight into how things are changing in the years to come. So one of the interesting facts is that GDP's growth over the last 10 years has surpassed any other region. I mean, this is compared to Europe, LATAM, there's quite a vast difference. It was 4% compared to 1.7%. And at the same time, we've seen a huge growth in the telecom space. And that has also been the highest globally. This investment in connectivity with increased urbanization means that more Africans are being connected to the internet. So that's where the 40% of the continent's current connectivity percentage comes from, with a prediction of about 11% growth over the next decade. Of those connected, we have about 7,000 talented developers, and they're all around these vibrant tech hubs, the Silicon Valleys of Africa, from Cape Town to Nairobi, Lagos, Cairo. And these developers now, with the increase in connectivity, have more access and exposure to technology than ever before. And they are using it to create really cool, innovative solutions. A lot of it to solve issues in healthcare and employment, lending and payments, and a host of other groundbreaking technologies. What these tech companies are internet communities, and these are the guys that are they're influencing policies across Africa and motivating engagement and support from government. A lot of support for startups and a lot of policies have been passed, and it's encouraging in this new digital world. What is also really exciting is that in Africa, we have the youngest and fastest growing countries on the planet. In the next 25 years, it's estimated that 60% of the population will be under 25, and that 1 out of 3 in the 15 to 35 age group will be African. So what happens if we combine a fast growing population, connected, young, tech savvy, educated consumers with global investment and a growing community of highly talented developers and entrepreneurs. An astronomical amount of compute and storage. Just the ease and speed of deploying workloads in the cloud makes choosing modern cloud native technology easier. I mean, spinning up a server or training ML models to get predictions on new data, running functions on serverless services can be done by a push of a button. Well, not quite a push of a button, but it's now a lot easier and more accessible. And anybody can do it with an internet connection in Google. And this is the sort of thing that's driving this cloud adoption in Africa. There are ever increasing regulations around data sovereignty, security, latency, and that is also creating a huge demand for local infrastructure and hybrid solutions. And as this pressure is increasing, and we're seeing it firsthand at Africa data centers, besides in developing new territories, we are massively expanding our current facilities just to keep up and plan ahead. What does that, I mean, how does that look at? We have analytics companies who have reports saying, you know, we need 5 times the amount of data centers that we have, with something like 700 more data centers on the continent, 1,000 megawatts of data center capacity. And this is something that we're investing heavily just to meet this growing demand through building modern co-location facilities. And at this rate, and what we need to do, it would be impossible. It will be a really impossible task to pull off. But we have a highly experienced team. We have a combined group of members that have overseen many world-class data center builds, and that's across the globe, US, Europe, and in Africa. So what combining this international expertise and the local skills is what is sort of the thing that enables us to do it at the scale and at the speed that we need to. Like our CEO Stefan de Proa says, our facilities are the lifeblood of every digital business. And these facilities form the foundation of a wide range of ecosystems, from cloud, security, storage, right through to financial services. And our core data centers in South Africa, Kenya, and soon to be launched Nigeria, house many business critical, house many businesses critical data. And all these data centers are secure and robust, and we ensure that we whatever we do, we take our impact on the environment seriously in the regions we develop. So that means we're continuously improving the efficiency, how we source stuff, how we source low carbon and renewable energy. Our certifications, ISO 27001, the PCI DSS, we make sure that we're compliant with that. So along with the physical protecting of critical infrastructure, which we know is very important to everybody, we also know that going in and digitally transforming your company, there's a great importance on having a connected ecosystem. So we've recently launched the marketplace, and being cloud and carrier neutral, we are home to many CDNs, ISPs, most of the top leading carriers, and multiple internet exchanges. And like our data centers physically, our marketplace is a virtual junction point for building connections between enterprises and service providers, and connectivity partners, and on-ramps, and internet exchanges. And it sort of gives you a way to find all the services you need under one roof. So having partners like Zadara and Global Sense with their federated edge and turnkey solutions, our customers have more choice and flexibility and exposure, and that's very important for us. Our marketplace, like our DCs, are also pan-African. So it's a platform that, if you're looking to branch out, if you're looking for services in a different location, you can very easily just find and connect to partners offering what you need in any of our data centers and any of our locations. And then one of the other initiatives we have for our ecosystem is the Innovation Hub. And these are basically areas in each of our facilities that we use and that is dedicated to incubating and showcasing innovative solutions. So we invite startups and vendors, service providers, systems integrators to choose one of our innovation hubs to collaborate on new ideas. Most importantly to us, though, it is to do this while minimizing the risk and cost. Our main reason for the hub is to encourage local participation by making our facilities accessible. And we see it's important for us to contribute to innovation in Africa. And a way for us to do it is to provide space and energy towards turning that next idea that you have into something tangible. So I started off with growth and the potential of the African economy, but and that's super exciting. It's very exciting for me, but we do have a lot of obstacles to overcome. So the things that make our continent the most attractive could also be our biggest downfall. This is one of the initiatives we have with partners like Global Sense and Zadara, and something we ventured on. And I invite you to come and collaborate with us to help us in our innovation hub through our marketplace, just to show how creative, dynamic, and innovative Africans are. So if you're interested, there's a link on our website. It's a very simple process, the onboarding process. And if you need more info, please reach out to one of us, or just go to our website and click on Marketplace. Thanks, Lali.
Thank you. Gerrit?
Thank you, Jody, ADC, giving us the insight into Africa and ADC digitization. We obviously aim to produce viable and affordable cloud technologies. That's how we want to assist. And obviously accelerate the cloud adoption in Africa and give people alternative options and viable options. So thanks for your insight, and Lali and Tel, Yaron, and your team at Zadara for your invaluable contributions. And then a special thanks to everyone for taking time out of your busy schedules to join us for this webinar. I hope you find it informative and insightful. Without taking up too much of your time, I would like to outline why we chose to partner with Zadara, with the obviously plethora of options out there available today. We have been offering cloud workloads, virtual machines, backup as a service, and disaster recovery as a service to our clients for a better part of the last decade. Back then, it was an in-house developed solution based on Dell hardware, Microsoft Hyper-V technology, Microsoft SPLA licensing, VEEAM backups, and Redstore cloud backups, and amongst others. As our infrastructure aged, however, and lifecycle management came into play, we realized that we had to rethink the way we do cloud and had the opportunity to use our experience to compile a needs analysis and identify which aspects we would like to retain, where to improve, and which functionalities and features we want to add on. Let's have a brief look at the most important of these aspects. And number one was physical location and access. The discussions we had with our clients highlighted concerns with locations where clients' personal information are kept in terms of POPIA compliancy, and obviously data sovereignty has come into play over the last couple of months and has become quite a buzzword. Also, physical access to our cloud infrastructure provide us the ability to reduce the time needed to complete cloud migrations where large data sets are involved. So Zadara solution is implemented at our data center of choice, in this case, African data centers. allowing us full access and control over the infrastructure. Secondly, it was important for us to have a tenanted cloud infrastructure. Our clients asked for the ability to provision, terminate, and manage their own cloud workloads and infrastructure. It was something we wanted to provide clients without risk or compromising security. And Zadara solution is fully tenanted, giving clients full control over their virtual infrastructure while remaining completely segregated. Scalability was another important aspect for us. Our legacy solution did not scale well at all. Adding processing resources or storage came with various challenges and obviously unwanted downtime, which needless to say wasn't ideal. Zadara solutions scale seamlessly by adding compute and storage nodes when required. Integration into existing infrastructure is effortless and without interruption or risk. Redundancy and availability, another thing that we needed to look at. We wanted a solution that allowed us the ability to confidently provide availability SLAs of 99.95% and above to our clients. Zadara is implemented with multiple compute, storage, and network nodes, ensuring no single point of failure and availability improvement with scale. Maintenance monitoring, this was something else we looked at. We wanted a solution that is monitored and maintained by experts from the OEM, allowing us to remain client-focused. Zadara infrastructure is managed by and monitored by a team of engineers around the world on a 24/7 basis. And lastly, and perhaps more importantly, we wanted to provide a simple and cost-effective OPEX model to our clients. Zadara is a pay-as-you-consume model with very little complexity. There's no ingress or egress charges. This ensures we only pay for infrastructure we require at any given point in time, allowing us the ability to provide competitive pricing to our clients. Please feel free to contact myself or Craig from marketing or sales for more information regarding your specific requirements or case needs. We're more than willing to help. Then I think Tel or Lali will provide some information regarding the promotion. We are currently running for registrants to this webinar at the end of this demo. Over to you, Tel, and your team at Zadara.
Thank you. Thank you, Gerrit. Okay, so thank you, Gerrit. Thank you, Jody, for partnering with us and also for having us, on this webinar. And again, thanks to all the attendees. I hope you find this valuable for you. So in my session, I will explain in more details about Zadara for those who heard or for those who haven't heard. I will talk a little bit about the company and more into the solution space. We also have Yaron with me, which is a director of solution architecture, and he will run a quick demo just for the to show you the look and feel of the cloud system that we provide together with this is the engine behind the Global Sense cloud service inside Africa Data Center. Africa Data Center, needless to say, the quality and the brand and the quality of the data centers. So this is a very this is something we are very proud of, this partnership, and this is part of our largest strategy, which I will also talk about, which is related to an edge cloud. So with that, I will start first by giving some of the latest cloud edge headlines. We strongly believe in the cloud edge, the necessity of the cloud edge, and this is where we are heading. And we see definitely from multiple sources that the cloud edge business is going to grow extremely fast. And some of the experts talk about $240 billion to 2024, which is quite a substantial number. No matter where the number will fall at the end, this is a very large market. Also, we see in the Gartner report that the edge computing is becoming a mainstream. I think to learn more about it is, simply just reading the article from Reply, from Cloud to Edge. Reply is a large company in Italy that is expert in industrial and automotive automation, and they describe the necessity of the cloud edge all the way from industries that require fast computing very close to the either it's factories or automotive or hospitals that require processing of large amount of data but have to do it local. Of course, when we talk about governments as well, so the government market is highly complex, and it cannot rely completely on hyperscale cloud. And they have a lot of barriers if we're talking about data sovereignty and the necessity to have their own the data stored in their own infrastructure without any access to outside. So that will require to have a local government cloud. We see a lot of projects coming in from the government which want to adopt the cloud model because of the attractive financial model. However, they cannot rely on the hyperscalers. Although they do a lot of effort, it's very hard for them to deploy government type of clouds, and it cannot be implemented in every country because of regulations. On the other hand, governments want to become more and more digital, and it's very hard when you work with legacy infrastructure. The time to deploy, the time they need to develop the expertise to deploy all sorts of applications that are popping up every day. It's very hard, and this is what the cloud infrastructure allows. So Zadara exists more than 10 years. Our headquarters is in the US, and we have offices all around the world, in Europe, in Latin America, in the Far East, Australia. Yet we have yet opened an office in Africa, but I believe that will also come relatively shortly, as we are really gaining momentum into the continent. Right now we operate mainly in South Africa and Nigeria, but we do plan to expand. We have plans to expand, and with the expansion of Africa data centers, with the scale of Africa data center, we can do that quite easily. We manage more than 300 clouds that serve thousands and thousands of end users. We also have a lot of enterprise users, all the way from government, banks, financial institutions, industrial, etc. You can see here a lot of some of our customer or partner logos. We have co-location providers, telco providers, service providers from all around the world, and we also have some here a sample of government institutions as well. Sorry, I'm going back one slide. If you see, for those who can see in the back, we have the there's the Alfa Romeo Formula One car. The reason we have this is we are an official provider of Alfa Romeo. We provide them the cloud infrastructure. They have our logo on the car, which is quite exciting. And this is something we're really proud of, because Formula One, not just it's so famous and a very popular sport, but it really requires, in order to serve a Formula One team, you have to have the cutting edge infrastructure. They require a lot of performance. They have lots of requirements that we needed to adjust to, and I think it proves the level of quality that our cloud infrastructure provides. I wish Alfa Romeo to get more points this year for those who follow. Right now they only have 2, but they'll make it. So what is Zadara about? We provide infrastructure, a cloud infrastructure as a service that has compute, storage, but what's most important for us, that is an enterprise grade, and Gerrit mentioned it. We are very strict on the quality. We take care of performance. We put a lot of care into reliability and security measures. So a cloud is the public cloud is it's very robust. However, it doesn't fit all enterprise requirements. So we, from day one, everything we do is enterprise grade. In addition, it's fully elastic. We can deploy a system in any location. It's scalable. It can start small. It can grow, and it's also an OPEX base. So it's essentially a pay-per-use model. We also have our expert management, which is a 24/7, 365 SOC teams that are NOC teams. Sorry, that it's a teams of engineers all around the world working a follow the sun model. They monitor the systems remotely, make sure that everything is functional. And whenever support is required, we have one of the finest SLAs in the market, something that is very hard to get from a hyperscaler. I'll talk about it very shortly, but I think the paradigm of the cost structure in the cloud, I think it's everybody understands that the benefit that you don't have to put a lot of upfront costs like the traditional CapEx model, and there is no waste because you only pay for what you use. So no need to talk about it too much, but this is what we provide. This is what we provide from day one, and we are still leading this market, although we see a lot of large vendors trying to move into a OPEX model, but it's more of a lease, not as fine graded and truly cloud as Zadara. So I'll talk about the technology. I'll move more into the technology side, which is more interesting. So what is the Zadara cloud service? Essentially, it's built of 3 layers, 3 main components. It's called Z Compute, Z Network, and Z Storage. The Z Compute is basically the ability to create virtual machines, general purpose virtual machines, have it Windows or Linux VMs. We also can create EC2-like instances with Amazon EC2 compatible APIs, which is quite unique to us, and this gives you the ability to move from workloads from AWS into Zadara quite easily. We can create VPC per user or per customer, and this provides the ability to segregate between tenants So there's a full separation between each tenant, which is very important especially in a cloud environment. On top of that, we have a load balancer, a network or application load balancer, and also we have the Z storage, which is a very robust and flexible storage platform that can serve almost any workloads, and I'll talk about it in the next slide. So very quickly about the Z compute. So the Z compute is a self-service compute portal that, like in the cloud platforms that maybe you're familiar with, like AWS or Azure, a user can go on the platform, provision VMs, delete VMs, provision volumes, etc. We also have auto scale groups for automated workloads that require, in some periods of time, they're required to grow and create more VMs in an automatic manner. We have an example of it, for example, in one of the education ministries in one of the countries that we operate. They create in Europe. They create. They require for 8 hours a day, where schools and teachers, universities, they have to open and they have to upload all of their works, classes, etc. So they required an auto scale group for several hours a day, and we are doing that. There's many use cases to why you would need the auto scale groups. And we also have the EC2 compatible APIs, which you can, let's say you have a workload in AWS and you're using an automation tool like Terraform, then you can use the same APIs, the same automation script, but run it on the Zadara infrastructure platform. Okay. Now, as you can see here, and I'm not getting too much into the costs and then the level of cost, this is just to highlight that we have our VMs, okay? There's plenty of VM types, and you can create VM types. They're more or less similar to what you have in the public cloud. You have EBS volumes, etc. And it's highly dynamic and highly flexible environment through cloud, but you have better control. You have everything, all the resources that you require. We have them on demand available for you. The Z storage is, as I mentioned before, is a very advanced storage mechanism with some unique patent technology that we have at Zadara. It's called VPSA. Basically, it's the ability to create, we call it a virtual private storage arrays. Those are storage arrays that are physically and logically separated from one another. So each tenant can have his own set of drives. That's the best way to assure privacy and security for your data. Because when you run in a environment, running in a shared environment, although it's okay, and there are ways to create a separation, still some organization require a full separation, and we can deliver it by creating a virtual private storage array dedicated for those customers. We support all types of storage, block, file, object, with all the protocols, with all the popular protocol, Fiber Channel, iSCSI, NFS, CIFS, and we have full support for S3 APIs, and even Swift, which is mostly used in OpenStack environments at telcos. So applications that run on S3, like backup applications, etc., can run on Zadara Z storage. The Z storage, we have lots of awards. It's really an award-winning platform. You can see us head-to-head with top vendors like NetApp, Microsoft Azure, etc. for the file-based cloud storage, and also for as an alternative for Amazon S3. You see us even ahead of large vendors like IBM, Oracle, Google, etc. I spoke about high availability and the reliability. We are 5 nines. Our SLA is 5 nines. Reality 5 9.5. So although you're running in the cloud, you're running on a very, very reliable platform. Okay, and it's important to note. And Harry talked about it. I think Harry, you mentioned 3.5 nines. So which is required. We deliver a much more. So this is why we said enterprise grade. It's very important for us. The Zadara cloud can be implemented anywhere. So we have our colocation all around the world that we utilize. We run most of our platforms through our MSP partners all around the world. And we also can deploy on-premise. If someone wants to have a system, the same system on-premise, we can deliver it on-premise in order to create a hybrid type of environment. What's nice about the Zadara system is that no matter where it is deployed, a Zadara system can connect to another Zadara system, migrate workloads, do replications, etc. So what this enables us to achieve our vision, which is something we announced earlier this year. It's called the federated edge. Essentially what we're building the largest cloud edge network in the world, all done through our service provider and colocation partners. The idea is, if you look at the public, at the hyperscale clouds, they have tens of locations, 20, 30, 40, depends on which hyperscaler you look at. However, in order to deploy a new region, takes them about on average half a year to 1 year. So they deploy around on average two new regions a year. With Zadara, we are in the midst of signing. We already have tens of global service provider partners that are already registered into the federated edge. And when we introduce it, we plan to have around 100 or more cloud edge locations. And with the vision in 2 or 3 years to get to thousands of global federated edge zones. Okay, Global Sense and Africa data centers are a part of this federated edge network, which, by the way, we can already utilize other locations within the technology-wise. So if you have an operation in South Africa, but also you require some operations, some workloads outside, like in EMEA or in Latin America or what have you, we can deploy that through the federated edge. Okay, so it's something very, very ambitious, but we are heading there and heading there very fast. So with the short time I have, I'll go over just a few use cases, and then I'll hand over to Yaron. The first one is a lift and shift. So what we are doing today, and this is just an example of a large enterprise customer we have in EMEA. They had a very large VMware environment with EMC VNX, and we just lifted and shifted them into one of our MSP partners to Zadara Z Compute and Z Storage environment, including a DER, and they also wanted a backup to Amazon S3, and we can provide that. We have the capabilities. So this is just to show you the ability to even migrate a complete workload from a customer data center into the into a full managed cloud environment. We also have very good relationship, strategic relationship with VEEAM on backups. We were the first to present the immutable storage that was required for VEEAM immutable backups. This is for ransomware protection, one of the best solution against ransomware protection. At the end of the day, when you're basically, it's a retention policy, so files cannot be modified, cannot be deleted. It requires support also from the storage. We support every VEEAM. We can be in every VEEAM hierarchy. So what they call the performance tier, which is the direct backup, or the cloud tier or capacity tier, which is essentially an object storage backup in the cloud, plus the immutability. And the last one that I highlight here, of course, there are many more for customers that are hosted inside the Africa data center, and you have your racks and the complete compute environment, compute and storage environment. We can connect to the Global Sense rack that has the Zadara inside, and we can create a dedicated VPSA, which is a dedicated storage array for you, with the benefit that it's an OPEX based, it's 24/7 monitored and but completely operate and managed by you. You get the optimized rack space, and we can do a remote site replication, which comes from the Zadara, unless you want to use your own data protection application. This can be, for example, used to replace the primary storage. It can be as a target for backup. So you keep your storage, but you want to have a backup outside your rack or your pod environment. So there's a lot of ways, and we have many hundreds of end users all around the world that are using this, enjoying the benefit of being hosted in a co-location facility where they have Zadara. So just if you want to read more, so I finished my slides. If you want to read more, if you want to get more solution briefs, case studies, etc., we have our resource center in our website. And Harry, do you want to talk about the promotion?
Tal, I'm happy for you to discuss it.
Okay, so yeah, so what we are offering for all the since we just introduced this in Africa data center, we are offering all of the customers that are attending the webinar, this webinar, you can have a 90-day free evaluation. This is for the first 5 clients that will register. Plus, we are offering 50% discount to the first 3 clients that will actually sign up. If you have here Harry's contact, so feel free to reach out. This is a very I think generous, and we are really want to see your onboarding and trying the system. And with that, Yaron, over to you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so just a quick demo of the system we were discussing now. So here, as you can see, this is the welcome window. After you ask for account from Global Sense, you will have the credential, the account, username and password for the system, and you can log in. Each account is really segregated for all other accounts. So one second. No one can see, you can see only your own resources, and you cannot see any activities of other customers running on the same cloud. This is a complete segregation. The system is fully multi-tenancy, and you cannot see what others are doing. What you see here is the welcome window of the system, the home screen, and all the things that were discussed over the past 45 minutes. So all the services that we can provide. So if it's compute instances, the networking that we can offer, like mainly the auto scaling group and the auto load balancers that we can provide. If it depends on the use case that you are looking for. I just want, since I don't have enough time, just to show you the overview of the system, the networking overview. So the model that we are working is like AWS, working in VPC's model. The VPC is a virtual private cloud. So each kind of cluster like this is a virtual private cloud. It's a virtual private network that resides under the account of the customer. So customer can create as many VPCs that he wants according to the needs. It can be only a big one, or it can be smaller one to segregate divisions or sites and location and whatever. And underneath we can create, we have instances. Creating an instance, as Jody said, it's in a click of a button. So so you can choose the name of the instance that you want to create. We have pre-configured images in the system, and each customer can also configure his own image and upload it to the system and use it. So all of his installation will be the same. You can choose how much resources you want to allocate to that particular instance, and there are a lot of configuration to choose from according to the needs. As a customer, as an account, you're going to pay only for what you use. So if you're going to use 2 vCPUs with 8 GB RAM, this is what you're going to use. Sorry, the keeper is, we are using a cloud init model, same as AWS. So basically the image is locked, and this is the key to open the image. So if you want to remote connect it afterwards. The boot device, we are working, unlike regular hypervisor provider, we are working with boot devices, not with data stores in VMDKs. So the boot device is coming out of a dedicated Zadara storage solution that is part of the cloud that we are providing, and we can choose the size of the boot device, to which VPC under my account I want to attach it. And basically this is it. And just fire it up, and we can see here that it's already starting to spawn, and it will be connected to the VPC itself. Now, in order to connect it, we can allocate to it an elastic IP, like here, which is a valid internet access IP. So you can actually access from your own, oops, we can see it here, and you can attach an elastic IP and access it from outside of the data center. Basically, this is it. In order to support or to have some kind of backup, so we support snapshots and remote cloning of the system for DR, so we can replicate in an instance level to remote data center, which has the DR and deployment on it. And if any of you will like something more in depth, so please drop me an email or write here in the chat, and we can schedule in-depth demo for the system, for the entire system. This is for my end, Tal.
Yeah, thank you, Yaron. So it's time now for the Q&A. I saw one question in the chat. So from Richard, can I deploy or consume S3 services from the platform, or do I need to build my own using the resources provided by Zadara Cloud?
So
By the platform, what is the scaling capabilities of the provided S3 services?
So with our this storage offering, we can offer also object storage with a S3 compatible interface or Swift, depends on what you're looking for. But yes, it doesn't relate it even for the compute. Of course, you can access those S3 services from any of the instances that you have on the compute layer.
Yeah, let me, Yaron, thank you. Let me just clarify maybe a little bit more. There are two options to compute to consume the S3. So either if you have large capacity, you can create your own VPSA. Okay, let's say you want to have a 300 terabyte of object storage. So we can create through Global Sense. They will create for you a dedicated VPSA with 300 terabyte. Or they have the option of a large set of S3, like in AWS. So there's a large VPSA of S3 repository, which they can create an account with a password and encryption, etc. So this is a shared. So it depends. If you have a 1 terabyte, then there's no really reason for you to create your own VPSA. But so it really depends on the requirements. So there's an option to have complete separated or secured and separated, but logically and the network secured S3 capacity. So it depends. We have all of the options.
Okay. So thank you all for attending today's webinar, and we really value your time and would appreciate if you can share with us your feedback. You can scan the QR code to fill out the survey. We will have an exciting raffle on August 4th. Between all replies, and the winners will win an official Alfa Romeo Orlen merchandise. The cap that you can see here, it's the official merchandise with the Zadara logo embroidered. We will send it also in a follow-up email. So if you didn't have the time to scan it now. Okay, so thank you all. Thanks again for joining, and enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Goodbye.